Next, let's take a look at the elements of a building and how this might get set up. So what we can see here is that we have a building that has a bunch of different elements. It's got some foundations, it's got slabs, it's got columns, and it's got core walls. So what might happen in a building like this is we can look around and see all of these different elements, right? So we can see, hey, there are these drilled piers, these deep foundations. We've got little stem walls or foundation walls. We've got columns in red, and we've got the slabs, and then we have core walls coming up the building in purple, that's being shown in purple here. So what we want to be able to do is we need to be able to specify what elements go to what. We need to be able to group things together in how they get poured. That's really important to us because that's how we can tell the contractor what we want to be able to do and what they should be doing and what order they should be going in. So what this will look like as we go up the building is we might look at something more to the effect of, if we look at a single level, we can see that there's all of these elements here. Again, we can see all of this coming up. Now, we've got, if we look just at the basis level, we can see there's a foundation, there's a vault here, there's some core walls and things like that. And each of these are going to be poured separately depending on what color they are. We can then move up the building and we can see, hey, now there's all of these things getting poured, but they're getting grouped at different levels because they're not going to say pour the columns all the way up the building. They're going to do it one level at a time. Same with the core walls, same with everything else. We can continue this pattern going all the way up the building if we so desire. All right. Now, I won't go all the way back up, but we can just, or we won't go one by one, but we'll just go all the way back up. So now we can see how this building gets put together. Now, this is done through what we call a pour parameter. We obviously break up the columns. You know, there's one column per level, but we have something that's called a pour parameter. Now, in this building, we used an old setup. So let's take a look at a different building for how this might work. In this, what we've done is we've taken that single pour parameter, G3.07.01, and we've turned it into 3 different instance parameters. And there's a really good reason for this, and it's about setting up our model. How do we get things, how do we modify things well, and stuff like that. And this is something that we'll go into later on when you're setting pour parameters and you're doing all these things yourself. But for the time being, understand that there are what are called pour parameters. So with this, now we can see that there's pour element type 2, level 00, area 01. These are the 3 pour parameters that we really care about here. And what we can do is we can come in with our filters and we can say, hey, I only want to see the level 1 stuff, right? Or level 0 stuff, right? Level 0, and I guess there's a -1 here as well. I can also come through, and if I want to, I can, let's see, I believe I do it like this. No, wrong way. We do it like this. And now I can see all of the different elements at level 0 and at level 1 that are getting poured together. So you can see everything that's the same color here gets poured together. It's all part of this G2.00.01 pour, right? You can see it's got all the same information. Same thing with all of these purple elements here. G's, this will be a 0, 0, 0, and then it says 1, but it should probably be a 1. Right? Same with the columns, and then there are also core walls in here. So these all get separated out into different pours that we then take in and will create drawings from those. Now, just to understand how the pours work, just to make it clear one more time, what we said is there's an element type, so there will be foundation walls or footings or core walls or slabs, for example. We can even come in and we can show the next one. Right? right? We can see the next level up here. There are slabs here that all get poured together. And the way this works is something like this. So if we say X is just a placeholder, it doesn't mean anything. This is element type 1. So G0 is drilled piers, G1 is grade beams and spread footings, G2 foundation walls, G3 columns, G4 core walls, G5 slabs and floors, and G6 curbs. Now, if you're entering the pour parameter, you don't enter the G. So what you can see here, if we come back to this one, we've not entered the G, but you can see in our sheet list here, they've got the G's in here. Now, this sounds unnecessary, but it's all about organization. It's very important that we keep everything well organized and well divided so that we can find it later and provide it to our clients. Pour 2, or the pour 2 parameter, you can see here is the level. So we have level, if it's 0, 0, make sure you've got two numbers here. 0, 0 is level 0, 0, 1 is level 1, so on, going all the way up the building. And the last one is area 3. Pour 3 is the area. So this building doesn't have a very good example of it, but we've got another building here where, for example, we've got a giant building and there's all of these slabs, but they can't pour all of these slabs together. So what we do is when we want to create a drawing, we'll create a drawing for a portion of this. So this blue area up here is all area 1. Green is area 2, and red is area 3, just for the slabs. Don't worry about these walls below. So you can see that for the slabs, we've now created drawings for area 1, and we can filter out area 2 because we don't want to see it, or we want to show it differently. We want it to look differently. So this is generally how pour parameters work with all the elements within the building. Now, once you've finished this, make sure you're going back into Trello and saying you've watched the pour parameters video as we talked about in our previous Trello and task management